What's going on, family? It's your boy, Mike Macklin, aka Money Mike, the financial Thanos, because I'm snapping my fingers and I'm turning your financial problems to dust. I want to welcome you to my YouTube channel. Thank you for tuning in. If this is your first time tuning in, let me do a few admin pieces before we get started. First and foremost, let me introduce myself. My name is Michael Macklin. I go by Money Mike. I am a personal financial coach specializing in a very simple 5-step strategy that's going to help you achieve personal financial success. I'll talk a little bit more about that at the end of the video. But also, if this is your first time checking me out, I want you to do me a couple favors. First and foremost, I want you to go ahead and subscribe to my channel and also hit the notification bell so you'll know exactly when I drop new content. And also, if you enjoy the videos, if you enjoy the content, by all means, go ahead and hit that like button so YouTube knows you like it and they'll show you more of my videos. But without further ado, what I want to do today is I want to get into talking about getting business credit cards. I'm talking about that because right now a lot of people are trying to get their hands on money and it's getting kind of hard. So I want to kind of put a way to do that in front of you. I'm learning new things and I want to take you on this journey with me. So this is why I'm showing you this video. So let's get into it and let's see what's going down.
I want to give you a couple relevant 2021 business credit cards that'll work for you. My big thing is that I found that I was watching a ton of videos and I wasn't getting any useful information. And part of it was clickbait, of course, as usual. Second thing was with everything that's going on, information is changing by the day. If you've been seeing what's going on today, what is today, January the 28th, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. But in the financial realm, background, I'm not an accountant. I'm not a financial planner. I've worked in banking a couple years of my life, and with that, I've done a lot of self-study. All the information you're getting is self-studied information that anybody can look up, anybody can learn, but it does require some time and commitment. So I'm not making recommendations for any products or services, but just letting you know what I found out from some personal experience and some research. So instead of wasting your time, I'll get straight to it. So this year, what I've been looking to do is look for small business funding. Isn't everybody? But right now in particular, it seems very hard for new businesses to get funding because the preoccupation really is existing businesses that have been around, that have been bolstering our economy for years, and that's super important. So not taking away from that. But with that, it seems like right now might be a really difficult time to get the financing to start a new business that doesn't have a reputation, that doesn't have backing, that doesn't have tax returns. And so everything right now is based on your personal credit. I'm going to be honest with you. The days of PG, as far as no PG, they're gone. Like everything now is going to be a personal guarantee. So what does that mean? A personal guarantee basically means that we're looking at your credit. Whether or not we post it on your credit doesn't matter, but we're looking at your credit to evaluate you for this business lending. And so, essentially, how does that make an impact? On the front end, if you're paying your bills on time, no impact whatsoever. If it comes down to the point of if you're missing a payment or delinquent, then it reflects back on your personal credit. So again, it doesn't really make a huge difference unless you're not paying. And so getting down to the nitty gritty, last 6 months, since we're in a new year. Last 6 months, I've applied for 5 business credit cards. The big thing is they are pulling your personal credit, but none of them report on my personal credit. So the first one I'll start off with, and that was the first or second that I applied for, is going to be the Chase Business Inc. With this one, you get some reward points. I won't go into the details. I'll cover that in another video about all the details on these cards that I'm talking about today, but I'll just tell you a little bit about each one of them and my limits and things and what really provoked me to apply for it. So this Chase Business Cash is a rewards card. I have a pre-existing relationship with Chase, been with Chase when it was Washington Mutual. And so, long-standing relationship. Big thing is they did pull my credit on this. Had to jump through some hoops because I keep everything frozen and locked 24/7. Another video, another time. If you have questions, let me know. With this one, was able to get $6,000. $6,000. So just to hurry it on, jump to the second card I applied for. Which one was next? Second card was the American Express Business Cash. Can you see that? A little bit of glare. Got this new ring light. Super excited about it. American Express Business Cash. So, full transparency. So everyone's saying everything is about relationships. Give or take. True, but I can tell you why in relationships to the American Express Business Cash, why relationships may have harmed me a little bit. So I've had an American Express branded Delta card, through American Express for the greater of a decade or more. On the personal side of the house. And on that card, I think it's $10,000. $10,000 credit limit. And so with that, I got an approval for the business card, the business cash card. And what they did was they took away from my personal limit to extend my business limit. And so, again, depends on how important that is to you. Let me tell you why I cared about that and why I was actually irate about that, because they didn't tell me that's what they were going to do. Angry because if you're credit savvy, you know that your total available credit versus how much you're using of your credit plays into your DTI, which essentially plays into your credit score. So essentially, they just pulled $1,000 from my available credit, which will essentially make my DTI look higher. And put it on a business credit card, which, of course, on the business side, that's a benefit, but the business credit doesn't reflect anywhere. So as far as my financial picture goes, it was harmful for me. So I had to call, talk to customer service, complain, throw in their face that I had been with them 10, 11 years at this point, and how that was unacceptable, especially because when I applied over the phone, nobody told me they planned on doing that. And they're like, well, we have in our notes that you consented to that. I was like, why would I ever consent to that? I said, that's not a good deal. I would have just opted for you to give me the lower credit limit on my business card and keep my personal one the same because it's impacting my personal credit score. And so after I talked to a couple people complained, I was on the chat like I'm one of those people just typing away frantically. I finally spoke to someone and he was like, we can fix it. And I was like, what exactly does we can fix it mean? So he went further to say that we'll move your personal line back to what it was and keep the new business credit line the same. So I'm thinking, you could have done that the whole time then, right? Anyway, I didn't argue with the guy. So that's what ended up happening. So on the business cash card, I currently have a credit limit of $9,000, and I still now have my $10,000 on the personal side. So the next card I applied to was another Chase card, the Chase Business Unlimited. I know they look super similar. One is black and one is blue, but I promise you they're different cards. So there is the Chase Inc. Business Cash, and then the Chase Inc. Business Unlimited. Again, I'll cover some of the technicalities of those cards in another video, but essentially I will say that the point structure is just different. I think one of them is like 3% on everything, and the other one might be a 1.5% with some special categories, or vice versa. Don't quote me on it. Don't have it in front of me. And so I applied for one in September, and then I came back and applied for the other one, I believe, in November. Again, outdated information that I've seen circulated is that you have to wait 6 months. False. The biggest thing with any credit pull, any inquiry on your credit report, hard inquiry, which typically credit cards do make hard inquiries, they're going to count against your credit score. After a certain number of them, they might not count as harshly. And then there are ways that you can go about getting those removed, which may or may not be worth your time, depending on what you plan on doing after that. But it's possible. And so I'll say those two cards, this one, another $6,000. So that's $12,000 with Chase on the business side of the house. I, of course, have Chase personal cards as well, completely separate. They report on my personal credit every month. Business doesn't report on anything. Oh, and I'll add that the 3 cards I just told you about, they all came with 0% introductory APR for 12 months, all 3 of them. And so, again, if you have moves to make, biggest recommendation is applying for the cards close to when you're going to need them. Not too much time beforehand, because you're going to waste all that time of the 0% APR. Big recommendation on that. Next one that I applied to, and I applied to this one, so everything's running together. I think this might be another November card. This is actually with Navy Federal. I'm a service member, so there's that. But again, Navy Federal membership, there are other ways to go about getting it. You have to just look on the website, see what criteria that you personally meet with that. But that is the Navy Federal Business Rewards. This card, so downside. Downside is no introductory APR. It is what it is. They're not, I guess they're probably not needing to give you anything because everyone's looking for funding right now. So understandable. Good card in that it is a rewards card. The highest limit of all is $15,000 by itself. So that blows my 2 Chase cards out of the water when it comes to available credit limits already. $15,000. I believe the interest rate might be at 15%. That sounds wrong. Maybe it's like 8%. It's one of those. Either way, it's not 0%. So this is always my last go-to card. I'll use it for things that I'm going to pay off right then. So that way I don't care about what the interest rate is anyway. And then, of course, just continuing to develop that relationship with Navy Federal. I have my personal accounts with them as well. But again, I don't think relationship really played a part in this. I think it came down to, again, personal credit. The last card that I actually just applied to this month, January 2021, I don't have in my physical possession yet, is the BB&T card. It is the basic, I believe Spark is what it's called. I'll update you when I physically get it. Okay. Was approved. Well, I say ties with Navy Federal. Also, $15,000 credit limit. They told me that over the phone. But they do have the 12-month introductory period as well. Who would have known BB&T? They just recently.
All right, so I'm going to cut this one short just because she's basically listed all the cards and all the interest rates. Very, very effective video. Very, very good video in that it helps solve a problem. And that is most new businesses, they have a hard time getting their hands on funding because, again, they want you to have tax returns. They want you to have, time in business. They want you to have statements, profit and loss, all these different things. But getting a credit card instead is a way for you to get your hands on some funding immediately instead of, having to wait. Because, again, you're going to have to wait maybe a year, 2 years to get these cards if you don't get a personal guarantee against it, which is fine if you have that time. If you have the time, it's completely fine. There's other ways of getting funding for businesses as well. But, again, without personal guarantee is a better way to get it. But while you're building up to all those things, if you really got something you're trying to get done, it's best to go ahead and just get your hands on this business credit through these credit cards. This young lady got her hands on $6,000, $6,000, $9,000. So that's 21, and then 2 15s, which is another 30. So that's $51,000 of credit that she obtained inside of 6 months. And that is huge. You can do a lot of things with $50,000 of credit. The big thing about that, the greatest thing about that is as long as your credit on the personal side is good, you're not going to have a whole lot of problems getting these. But if your credit is not so great, then you may want to fix your credit first. So now with that being said, I want to segment into what I do and how I can help. Again, I'm a personal financial coach, and one of the strategies I specialize in is building great credit. So if you'd like to learn to build great credit for yourself so that you can get access to these business credit cards, I want you to go over to my website, www.moneymike313.com. That should pop up on your screen here shortly. Go to that website, Book yourself a free 30-minute consultation with me. We'll talk about how to get yourself on the road to better credit, along with other financial strategies. And hey, it's free of charge, so you definitely want to get your hands on that information. And as I close out, I want to leave y'all with my world famous words. I love you. God loves you. He smiles when he sees you, and he sees you all the time, so he's always smiling. So why aren't we? Hey, you all have a great day. Hope you enjoyed this video. $50,000 of personal business credit through these credit cards. Definitely a good look. See you guys on the next one. God bless you all. Gone.
Damn, I ain't been broke in a minute. Damn, I ain't been broke in a minute.